welcome to Tism Talk. We are doing our 5th review on My Hero Academia for the 5th episode.
Sweet. You want to take us off, Gaiman?
Yes. So no, I'm taking this off. Alright. So first things first. I just realized all my notes were on the towards the end of the episode. Yeah. Although, so Gaiman, you can start.
Yeah. Okay. So first thing we get. Our baby boy, our precious baby boy Midoriya.
He's broken.
We'll
fix him.
No,
we'll put him back together.
He's kind of broken, but he does it. He got into UA. His mom's pretty
home. He was staring at his fish like you do. He was smiling at it, kind of.
Smiling at his fish like a big weirdo, confusing his poor precious mother.
Are you okay? Do we need to have a talk? And then
you can talk to me instead of staring at the fish, Izuku.
And then Midoriya's looking at them off TV while improving his pinching power.
Yeah.
And
our boy is constantly strength training. He's got to get ready to inherit his quirk better.
It's always cool, but it's also weird for other people nearby, because while he was training for All Might, he was like under the table going like this. He was doing his finger strength.
He was constantly strength training. And throughout the series, we will see him constantly strength training. And that's how you do good background character development. Because his big thing is his body is just not strong enough to handle it. But also, the quirk, one for all, is improved by continually strengthening yourself. It also strengthens the quirk and your connection to it. And so, rather than us just having random training montages cut in the middle of an episode,
Midoriya,
where it's
on his phone looking for something,
but he's also curling,
lifting weights.
Yeah. So rather than just lazily be like, but you see, back in the past, he was strength training this whole time. We'll just constantly see him doing it in the background. If you watch, he's always doing something.
Yeah, I mean, it can be alright when there's a strength montage of them doing stuff.
I strongly disagree.
But I feel like it's always better to have it not he's doing this out of the way, but I always find it better for it to be, he's doing this casually.
Well, yeah, I think the strength training in the beginning when they did those montages, episode 1 through 4, where he's training with All Might, makes a lot of sense because he's training his body for the power.
But that is what's happening in that episode. What I'm talking about is
the passive, in the background. No,
something's happening, right? And then we get a flashback, he does some crazy feat and we get a flashback, he actually learned how to do this in the past. Just show us. Just show it to us as it's happening. Let us see that he's constantly doing it rather than telling us he was constantly doing it.
To go back to when he was at home and got into UA, one of the notes I wrote down was about Midoriya's mom when he's packing for his first day at UA.
Mom's got it going on.
Don't ever say that again to me.
I'll
punch you. She does. But
I thought you were going to comment on how when she found the letter, she was on her hands and knees.
I was going to say that when he's packing for his first day of UA, his mom turns into an absolute roast god and asks, "You didn't just pack action figures, did you?" And he just goes, "Mom, gosh."
Yes, well, it's because it's her son. She's, she's gonna baby him a little, especially because he went from being just her normal child to now anonymously having. This is covered in one of the OVAs in a background thing.
He has superpowers and is jacked.
Well, the jacked isn't out of nowhere. He was he gave her his whole strength training plan and the new diet he needed.
I was gonna point out it is shown that All Might wrote that. I find that a bit strange. This doesn't look like my son's handwriting.
Well, it was typed.
Yeah. Oh. I figured that All Might just wrote that shit down because he's an old man.
No, the dude knows how to use a computer. What's hard to understand is that this show takes place in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it was present time, our time. When the glow baby
I always forget.
This is
just
anyway.
Us and our Tism.
Yes. I don't have Tism.
Don't vote me into this shit.
You do now.
Yes, you have the worst autism possible. Anime.
Yeah!
It's a brain parasite. There's no recovering.
One thing I just want to touch on is all that All Might really needed from Midoriya was him just being like, I want to be a hero. I want to be just like you. Obviously, he says it with more passion. But All Might just met this random kid on the street and then worked him nearly to death to get him super muscular and this diet. And then he was like, my boy, eat my hair. And gave him this ungodly power to some random fucking kid he didn't know.
Well, he
3 months prior.
He came to know him over those 3 months. But the big thing
he didn't see this kid and he's like, I want to be a hero. He was like,
I saw this kid act exactly like me.
Yeah,
when I was
it's not possible. Become a cop. They get some shit, but it's close enough. And then goes away.
But anyway, focusing on the episode at hand.
Midori is going to school.
He's going to school.
He sees the big boy doors. He realizes he's kind of short.
He's like, oh man, are there some giants here? He's not short. He's perfectly fine. All of his classmates are just tall monsters.
Except Mineta.
Mineta
could be curb stomped out of existence.
No, because you'd stick to his things.
Yes, his corpse would stick to the bottom.
Balls.
Yeah, his corpse would
stick to the bottom
balls.
of your shoe, just like a piece of gum.
Yeah, man, close. No. Anyway, no, he is actually a midget. But then we get a couple things there at the beginning. One is
mall walking.
Well, yes,
like
we have Ida, but even before that, we see that Eraserhead, our teacher, Aizawa, has been paying attention the whole time, specifically to Midori.
Oh yeah,
he immediately catches that big explosive move, and he's like, I don't know how I feel about this. But then he gets to class, he's like, oh, are there giants here? Which, unironically, yes, there are some, like, really tall people.
Like, oh, I hope Ida
and Bakugo are not here.
He opens the door, he immediately sees the two of them.
Immediately his nightmare.
Bakugo, get your fucking feet off the table.
No, he doesn't swear. Ida is a good boy who would never cuss.
Bakugo, get your feet off the table, it's disrespectful.
And he's like, I'm going to take a rod and stick it up your ass.
No, his exact quote is, did your last school shove a metal rod up your ass, or were you born with it?
And he's like, oh, what?
No.
But no.
Let's start over.
The nightmare.
Oh, so you think you're better than me? Just real Rocky stuff.
And then Ida's like, I just want you to be respectful. Why can't we be friends? Because Ida needs to
drink some of the respect women juice.
Yes.
One thing...
No.
Oh, sorry.
His nightmare is immediately followed up by a blessing, which is that his future wife shows up. Uraraka for the win is like, oh, it's you!
Wait, no, before that, they both look over and Ida does the mall Karen walk over to him.
And Midori is immediately like, oh god, he's gonna yell at me for something again. Then he overshares.
My boy.
He's like,
you are a genius.
You're a genius. I didn't even think about all of those things that totally
I didn't even think that the hero school would have a heroic action give you points.
Yeah, Ida's he's a very troubled boy.
He just overthinks everything. He unironically has anxiety, but not with fear.
He doesn't have anxiety. So you've exactly... No, it's not... He's autistic. He is very clearly autistic. He doesn't know how to think like a people.
Weirdly, yeah.
Well, no, also... Yeah, I'm not going to get into it.
He moves like a fucking robot sometimes.
Yeah, no, he's just a strange lad. But then... we get... Aizawa. His entrance
AKA Caterpie.
Wait,
his intro to the class.
Oh, Choco
laying on the floor.
Hey, it's you.
Hey, it's you, my future husbando.
Hey, it's you with the weird hair, or something like that.
Yeah, I recognize that messy hair.
Yeah, and then...
Because Connor, he doesn't have curly hair. He has messy hair.
So, yeah,
I was today's years old when I found out that Connor thinks anime characters whose hair is kind of like a little wavy is curly.
Yeah, because it made sense. Autism, anyway.
Because it made sense that with all those 9 curls...
Midori is nervous. He's kind of a bit of a masochist, because he just met this girl who slapped him, so yeah, he's feeling strange.
Oh, I wouldn't say that's it. It's that he just doesn't know how to talk to women. And now he's got one that's way too cheery for him to understand.
Yeah, he's
like, I don't know what to do with all of your...
Wait, Cameron. That is a Tism thing to do, what Midoriya did, because he covered his face, like, oh no.
Well, I think that's because most manga writers are really autistic people. May I remind everyone in the world that Horikoshi is obsessed with drawing hands.
And the guy who wrote Chainsaw Man ate his fish.
Yeah, he ate his pet fish because he felt weird about flushing it. Because he's a crazy person. He's not autistic, Connor. He's actually an insane person.
Aizawa says, everyone get in your seat. And I'm like, what? Is that coming from...
No, he doesn't say get in your seat. He's like, get in your outfits. He's like, it took you guys too long to notice I was here. And then, when I crawled on the floor.
When I moved like a worm in my sleeping pouch.
Yes, I have to imagine when he's moving like that. Like, there's only two realities that exist.
I literally just imagine him going...
No. Let me explain. Either he arrived, they didn't notice him, and he's sleeper bagged up and laid down behind them.
Or just spent the night there.
Well, no, because they would have noticed him when he walked up. Or he just
himself up or rolled there.
Yeah, rolled there and then sat there. He unzips it just enough to get at his mouth with a little like energy pouch that he's like, because that's probably what he subsists on. And then he stands up and he's like, it's time for us to go and do some exams and stuff. And they're like, but wait, isn't there like the intro thing? And he's like, that's stupid. I think that's stupid.
This is a hero school, not a high school.
Yeah, he's like, this is for hero work, not for pep rallies. And so he takes them off.
We're heroes, not stupid.
And we immediately are blasted with the implication that the biggest reason he's done this is for an excuse to get rid of Midoriya. Because he saw Midoriya, and he's like, you suck, and I hate everything about you as a human being.
Well, but then later in the episode, we see when Midoriya goes to for the baseball throw, goes to put like all his power in it, like he did before with the thing.
That's when Aizawa is like,
and that's when Aizawa's like
erases his power, and I feel like
that was a note I took. Aizawa is a weird guy.
No, I feel like Aizawa more. I don't know if it was his intent, but I took it as kind of like he saw what happened last time. He tried to go crazy because you kind of see him rearing back like he did for his punch.
Well, yeah, he was definitely the first time going to put all of his energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think Aizawa saw that and erased it and like talked shit at him, so he had time to like recalibrate and be like, okay, watch this.
Yeah, and I think that Aizawa, I think it's a little from column A, a little from column B. Mm-hmm. He did not like Midoriya. He immediately connected the dots between Midoriya and All Might.
Didn't like Midoriya, but I don't think he was explicitly like wanting him to do poorly. I think
he definitely didn't want him to do poorly. But he wanted to see him do poorly, so he had an excuse to get rid of him.
I do genuinely just believe that Aizawa is a good hero and a great teacher. Yeah, but his sways come off as him being a bad teacher.
I also wrote down that Aizawa is like a top G because he doesn't take shit from anybody. Like he literally doesn't care. Like All Might will like be like, what are you doing with young Midoriya? And he's like, none of your business. It's my class.
Oh yeah, no, it was explicitly.
Oh boy, I read your file. Would be great if I finished this before you got ahead of me in the episode.
All right, finish then.
Yes. Punk. I was talking, and then you guys are like going way ahead of me. I'm trying to keep us on, like, following through the episode.
All right, champ.
But he stops Midoriya from using his quirk, and yeah, as you said, he's just like, so what? You're just gonna like make people help you the whole time? Mm-hmm. And then he does, however, give Midoriya the chance to make his decision. Like, how are you going to do this? Are you going to destroy your arm and become useless for the rest of this? Or are you just going to do a mediocre throw and also fail?
Are you going to fail with pain or fail... Are you going to fail with pride or fail with dignity?
Yes, that's exactly the words he used, in fact. But Midoriya pulls his quick thinking, his quick ability to adapt to the situation.
Okay,
and he figures out in that moment how to concentrate all of the energy right at the end.
Into one finger.
Yep, right into one finger, and throws just a little bit shorter than Bakugo's throw.
And that sends him over
That sends Bakugo over the edge, but it also sends Aizawa over the edge as he immediately becomes the first number one fan of Midoriya.
Yeah, something I wrote
down. The exact quote is, he's like holding his hair up like
he's
that
like,
and going,
this kid. He's like, oh, there's potential in this kid. He's going to figure out how to use it.
I would have found it funny if Midoriya used his middle finger to charge up the energy.
It's like,
so he could be like, look, I didn't break my arm.
Well, that's because you're a rude boy, but Midoriya is a pure little cinnamon roll, and he would never do anything so rude.
After that, I took a note, and I noticed that it seemed like Aizawa actually cared for Midoriya, and it seems like I feel like as we see later episodes in progression, we'll see more and more Aizawa kind of be in Midoriya's corner and backing him, because I feel like he really does care about him, even if he has a weird way of showing it. You know,
he does.
I feel like he definitely does care.
Like it or
Midoriya.
not, Aizawa did see Midoriya as his student for at least that day.
Well, not that day. It's after that day. He wanted to get rid of Midoriya, and All Might calls out as much. Like, I know for a fact that you have no issue with just getting rid of an entire class because you don't like them.
And this is the one thing I'll say, we will understand more context of that later on.
Don't spoilers.
I'm not. I just said
you're getting dangerously close to spoilers.
I'm not going, this is what's going to happen and it's going to make everyone understand. I'm just saying, we will have more context.
Yes. Yeah, as things go.
It is my full opinion that Aizawa is a good teacher. People just sees his methods as being wrong.
But yeah, so that's about what we get in the end of that episode, is we get to see Midoriya be real cool. To summarize it all, starts with Midoriya's worst nightmare. Both his rival and the guy who got really mad at him for seemingly no reason or in his class. It's saved by the fact that his future wife shows up and makes him not know what to do with all his emotions. Aizawa's a weird dude, but he is our very first non-All Might number one fan of Midoriya.
He's our first non-All Might mentor to Midoriya.
Well, he's the teacher, but I'm talking more funny-wise, the fact that the second Midoriya shows how quickly he can adapt to pressure, he's like, oh, I'm not going to send you back because you're going to be real cool later on.
You're going to be...
He immediately went from, I'm going to expel this little bitch, to oh, this is the coolest kid ever.
This is the coolest cat in the world.
I just called him out and he said, no, you.